Good morning everyone. My name is Julia from Julia K Yoga, and today's practice I'd like to offer this practice to runners to help them run better or easier. So with running we do lots of kind of repetitive moves onto our joints. So we'd like to loosen up a little bit of hips, strengthen through the legs all the way to your ankles. So come and join me. So whenever you're ready, you can pause that video, and then I'm going to remove those blankets so I don't slip. And then we're going to start with going to tuck the toes at the bottom. You can bring your knees wider and then toes together. So see how that feels. So take your time to get into this pose. You might be, some of us love this as attacking the toes, so you can start bringing lots of energy into the toes. Some people don't, so see how it feels. If it doesn't feel right, release the toes and then just bring the sit bones more towards your heels. So let the toes being onto the floor as they're touching it. So once you have your position, your toes closer together, knees apart into your mat, wide as mat, extend your arms, bring your forehead onto the mat, and extend those arms all the way to the top of the mat. And then just give yourself a few breaths here to settle in. If you place the hands on each side of the, so if you do right hand to the top of your right corner and left hand to the left, you will start feeling a little bit more space to the back of your chest. The heart will melt easier. And then just bring, as you exhale, bring your hips towards your heels. And then really feel as you can soften into this pose. And then you bring your hands back, and then we're starting moving the knees. So we're coming into the neutral position. So our tabletop is in neutral. Now, this is a neutral position. It's a fantastic way as the beginning of the practice, the beginning of your practice, to really find the alignment through your fingertips, through your hands. Now for me, as I am actually in the park, so the surface is not as straight as you would have practice at home. So if you do sometimes decide to practice it outside or watch this video, then make sure that you find the spot where your knees feel really soft, so they're not halfway through the stone or not straight ground, which might be actually difficult to have it straight. But find it so the knees are kind of protected there and supported. And then just bring your shoulders above of your wrist, knees below your hips, and then just start doing a few breaths in your cow and cat. Now in this cow and cat, as you inhale, let the abdomen drop towards the floor, tilt the pelvis forward, but try not to look with your head too far in front of you. Keep the head looking towards in front of the mat. So you're keeping the length at the back of your neck, so you get nice energy floating through easily. Now when you exhale, as you're rounding your back, press firmly into the palm of the hands towards the earth, and then lengthen through the arms, so you feel the space between your shoulder and your ears and the back of your chest. Give yourself round through the back, tilt the pelvis. Now do a few of those more. Keep inhaling and exhaling, that's the important part. Now tuck your toes back as we started. Now feel that connection with the hands onto the mat, and then lift your knees up. So to me, going to downward facing dog is not about straightening the legs, but it's really much when you're lifting, you can actually connect more with your toes and bring that energy into your ankles, your knees, and then your thighs, keeping the spine straight from the beginning. And then as you come up, then you can straighten your legs if you wanted to. I'll just come in the middle of the mat, so I think it's maybe better for you to see. So you want to just have a little bit, couple of breaths more. Always keep moving and expanding, or even just creating that more space through the chest, through your spine. Now you can lift your right leg up if it's accessible, and then bringing your knee forward in front of your hands. Take that foot forward. Now hold here, and that's where you get nice actually sensation through your hips. So hold there, hold, let the hips sinking towards the floor. Now bring your knee down, lift yourself up into your low lunge, extend your arms. Now bring your hands back, lift your knee up, place the left hand onto the mat, and then lift the right arm. So twist, and then reach towards the side. Then we're going to bring the hands in front of your foot. Your left heel now comes onto the floor, and then you are bringing that foot so it's parallel to the bottom of the mat. And then just rotate that left shoulder, open up, lift through the left arm. If this is too much, come onto, rest your forearm onto your thigh. Now this is will strengthen your ankle. This is actually amazing, those poses where you're bending the knee. So this is the extended side ankle pose. So bend the knee over your ankle. Now whenever you're ready, you lift. You're coming into your second warrior. Keep the knee over your ankle. Inhale there. Turn the right palm facing the sky, and then reverse. Okay, now hold there one breath, and then we go all the way down, hands onto the mat, slide that leg, come into your plank, and then lower the chest and chin. And if you like to come in the upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Okay, so in order for me to actually see you, or actually facing the camera, now let's lift that right leg up again. Bring that right leg back. We're going to turn towards the center of the mat, and then bend those knees, so keep the toes out and heels in, and then lift yourself up with the arms facing towards the sky, so you can interlace your hands, but keep your index finger point, sink a little bit deeper into the goddess pose. Work through the hips, come on your cactus arms, and then you twist the opposite direction, come back down, and then your right foot comes all the way to the bottom of the mat. Lift that heel. So again, you are in a tuck toes, and then heel is up. So hold there, let the hip, so now your left hip sinks towards the mat, and then bring it down. Now lift the arms up for your low lunge. And we do the same thing on this side. So go back with the hands onto the mat, lift that right knee, position the right hand onto the mat, lift the arm, open up, all the way, look towards the sky. If it's too much for you, then just look straight. Now bring that hand in front of the foot, drop the right heel onto the floor, and now you're going to lift that right arm. Again, if this is feel too much towards the floor, bring that forearm onto your thigh, and inhale, exhale, draw that fingertips towards the sky. Now inhale, lift. Sink a little bit deeper. Move the palm on facing the sky and exhale. And then we go all the way down with the arms. Slide the left leg. Inhale, lower yourself down. Come into upward facing dog. So draw the chest forward. Exhale. Downward facing dog. So come and lift your left leg up. And then you bring the knee towards under your left wrist. Safely take the right knee towards the floor. Now you could actually sit, if you like, onto the left hip. And I'm going to show you how can you use those blankets under the hip for your pigeon pose. Now I'm going to show you pigeon pose as we are in this sort of way of pigeon pose, and then as we're lying onto your lower back. So with a pigeon, the conventional way is, lots of people know that your foot is facing down and then you're having a square pelvis. Now that should be okay, and then feeling more sensation through your hip. But if you have any pain injuries, or if you have any kind of discomfort in your knee, I would suggest to use the L shape, which is a 90 degrees, which your thigh bone is connected to your shin bone, and then your right knee could bend. So when you bend the knee, you don't have to worry about straightening the leg. You come to the 90 degrees, and then you place the hands in front of you, and then you're leaning with your torso forward. Now you will feel lots of sensation through this movement here. Just kind of bringing yourself down. You're controlling it with your elbows. Okay, so sometimes you can actually bring the forearms down if that's accessible for your body. If not, you can bring a couple of cushions or bolster, and then you lift your forearms up. So stay there. So with pigeon pose, I think it's such a wonderful pose to open your hips. It tackles all 6 meridians into our meridian points in the body. It's really working if you stay there for a little bit longer, about 90 seconds and longer. You're really working down to the connective tissue, to your bones, rather than just in the surface of the muscles. So you could just stay here for a little while. Try to find that comfort range zone from the beginning, and then you could, if you feel, you can go a little bit deeper, or sometimes with a very subtle movement, bringing the torso forward, you feel the more sensation. And then let's bring that leg down, so your foot down. Come into sort of conventional, so as you letting the foot coming towards your right hip, and then bring your left hip up. And this is the way I come, lift that left leg. So you can lift your left foot, come all the way up. Now you can bend that knee on the top and open the hip. We're not going to come to wild thing, we'll just open the hip and then come back down. Now let's lift that left leg and then place those toes on the top of your right heel. Adjust your hands, exhale, lengthen through the arms, hold, and then bring the foot down. So bring the right leg up. You can leave the blankets the way they are, and then we're moving the knee towards your wrist. So always start, kind of feel comfortable from here. So yes, there is a little bit of upper arm strength you need when you actually want it to go really slowly. And then gently move those blankets onto the side. Let the knee come onto the floor. So before you actually sit onto the blankets, if they're too low down, bring another cushion or blanket. So can you see that when I move the knee, or if I move that leg, I don't move from your toes or feet or foot, but I'm moving the knee. And then just walk the knee, your foot, left one to the bottom of the mat. Sit onto the cushion, adjust. Now, as I said, the conventional way, it's not right or wrong, it's just different for different people. So if you feel like you do want to have your toes a little bit more down instead of 90 degrees, then you can, and then prop yourself well here, extend that leg and lift yourself up. Okay, so I'd like you to be, as I say, more playful with your yoga practice, more curious. How does this feel in the body? If you're constantly doing the same thing over and over again, see if you can change it. The body likes to tackle different muscles, and then sometimes just finding something different might feel better. We evolve in our yoga practices, we get older, so it's kind of nice to explore with different things. And again, the same thing, so feel if you wanted to, that feels okay, bring the forearms onto the mat, or just staying with the hands and then hold. Now, having your hands onto the mat and then straighten arms, that's okay. But if you're staying for a little bit longer, like 5 or 10 minutes sometimes, you will a little bit put more pressure onto your wrist. So we try to avoid less pressure onto the joint and making our front of the body as comfortable as possible, so we can focus on our hips. And then whenever you've got ready, whenever you feel that you match the time to the other side, do you see as I'm moving that toes forward? I'll move a little bit of hands as well, so I have a space between my torso, my hands and your knee. Extend that left leg, so lift the knee up, and then right leg goes up. Go all the way up, bend the knee on the top and open the hip. Now we'll come down with that foot into downward facing dog. Exhale. And now we bring the knees down. So I have promised you to show you a reverse pigeon pose, or sometimes some people know this as an eye of a needle. Now I love this support. I love support of blankets. If you have a nice carpet at home, then you might not feel cold. If you have a wooden floor, I would always support the lower back. So you'll just twist yourself and then come down. That feels really much different when you have some support in lower back. You could put a cushion under your head. Now squeeze. So place the hands onto the top of the knees and squeeze in first. Give yourself nice little rock from side to side. And we'll do different little variation. The first one, so place the feet onto the floor and then lift your left leg. Oh yeah, let's do this one first. So let's circle those ankles. Your ankles are very important into your throughout running, so you wanted to have a strong ankles. So lots of poses as we did second warriors, lunges are fantastic to strengthen that. And then bring it back down, take the left leg straight, and then turn that heel. You start turning the heel towards the right side, place the ankle below your knee, open the left knee. Now whenever you're ready, squeeze a little bit the core and then lift that right leg away from the floor. Now you could just hold the right hand under your right knee and then left onto the left knee. Or if you have it accessible to interlace your hands under your right knee and then go back to lie down. I don't straighten my leg. If you wanted to tackle more your hip, straighten leg will tackle more your hamstring. So I just go flex the foot, take the ankle a little bit above of the knee, and then squeeze in. Always as you want to go deeper, try to do this on your exhalation. Nice. So what you could do, you release the leg, you can shake the legs, you can rotate your wrists, rotate your ankles again, place the hands down, shake it again. Shaking is amazing to do for your blood flow, so all the blood flow comes way down from the toes, your legs all the way down to your hips. Place it down and then extend your right leg, turn that hip externally, place the ankle on top of your left knee, lift, and then bring the hands, interlace your hands under your knee. And again, so this is exploring. Exploring is lifting that leg up, flexing, and then just feel the little bit of resistance. Think of like you have that left foot, like you would press onto the wall or somewhere, and then you're bringing that knee, left knee towards your chest. And let it go down again, that foot. Another variation is you straighten the legs, the left leg comes slightly down, right across, bend the knee and then squeeze so there is no space between them, and then bring your right hand onto your left calf and then left onto your right, and then squeeze those knees together. As you're squeezing in, really feel the release through the hips. You might sometimes find as you're squeezing that you start putting a little bit of pressure onto the shoulder. So relax through your shoulders and then come up, swap, bend that knee, bring that right knee closer to the left, bend both knees, hold a little bit lower towards your, so you can slide the right hand all the way just above the ankle, and then squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then release back. One more shake. Ooh, shaky, shaky. And then we'll come up seated. Now there would be supine twists are really wonderful as well, but you can actually have a look at the supine twist from my other video. So when you're actually standing up, come and roll yourself onto the side, lift yourself into the palm of the hands, and then